one will protect them.
We have to hang on, work together.
And one will lead them.
There's nothing magical about it. They're made of flesh and blood. You take out their heart, you bring down the beast.
We found out where they started. We're going to London.
This summer,
Vertical one up.
the plan is set.
1,600 yards, closing fast.
The arsenal has been assembled.
Get ready to rock and roll. Each other!
And they've got one chance to take back their world. Matthew McConaughey, Christian Bale. Reign of Fire.
Welcome to a special NFL season Tuesday night edition of Seamen on Film. A show where we watch movies and ultimately decide whether a movie is deployment ready or not. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by, 5 other former U.S. Navy sailors to discuss our favorite movies.
Next to you.
Sitting next to me is helicopter ace Sabrina. Hello, Sabrina.
Hi, Adam.
We got spear gunner Herschel. Hello, Herschel.
Hello.
We got head farmer Joe DeCowell. What's up, Joe?
Joe.
Pretty good.
Oh, he's muted or something.
We got the the man with the heart of a dragon, Andy Mattis. Hi, Andy.
Hey.
And the lover, not a fighter, Chris. Hello, Chris.
All right. Yeah, I would be a dragon slayer, dragon lover.
This is like maybe the flying squirrel guy.
Yeah.
Head farmer. I'm like the shittiest character in this.
He didn't even give me a personality, so
Did you come from the Great
I'm just
Plains?
sitting next to him.
You're from Kansas, dude.
Yeah.
I just got sitting next to me is.
I said helicopter ace.
Oh, you did. Never mind. Thank you.
It's okay. Your wife doesn't listen to you.
Clearly. My category was the 2002 action movie Reign of Fire. I just want to start off with first impressions when you heard about what movie we were watching this month, starting with you, Sabrina. What were you thinking?
I was thinking, well, I've only seen bits and pieces of this. I hope it's as action-y and fun as it could be. I wasn't like excited for it, but I wasn't irritated by the initial choice.
How about you, Andy?
Yeah, I was excited because I'd seen, I believe, pieces of the movie, probably some on the ship and just around. And then when we mentioned that it was McConaughey and Christian Bale on the same silver screen, I got pretty amped to see that happen.
Chris?
I was not excited. I did not get a boner like Andy. I was like, I've never seen this movie for a reason. Because it had McConaughey and Bale and dragons, and there's a misconception that I had, but not too excited.
Joe?
Yeah, I was pumped to see this. I'd only seen about all the way up until maybe right before McConaughey makes his triumphant appearance. And yeah, I was looking forward to watch this, and I had a great time.
And Herschel?
I was pretty indifferent. I've seen it before, but you know what? Hey, anything for science, guys. But yeah, so pretty indifferent on it.
Andy, I want to apologize for that boner joke I just made. I'm going to transfer it to Joe now.
Thank you.
Weird.
I was surprised at how corny, cheesy. Like it was. I don't know. It was kind of fun. And I don't know why the hell I never saw it before. It's 2002. This is like my prime naval experience. I should have been watching this thing. You know, so I don't know what I was doing, but
Still watch it, yes.
I saw McConaughey and Christian Bale in the same movie, and I was like, how have I never seen this movie before?
What about Gerard Butler?
And Gerard, surprise appearance by Gerard Butler.
That was a pleasant surprise that he was in it. I said, okay, I'm going to give this thing a chance.
And then they kill him off.
They killed him good.
All right, let's go down this burning rain of fire. And
oh, you practiced that. You thought about that beforehand so hard.
does that
a lot of windshield time think of this
God.
last month.
He's stuck in his commute just thinking about
that should really offend you, Joe.
I'm a Johnny Cash fanatic.
That should really put a dagger right in your heart.
I'm just gonna do a quick synopsis. All right, so bear with me. We start off with the young Quinn going to see his mother. She's apparently the what do I got? The project engineer for some tunnel dig site thing.
Well, she's not the head of safety giving her kid down there. I can tell you that.
So many caveats.
All of my comments were from the first like
10 minutes.
Movie.
Yeah.
Where they accidentally unearthed ancient dragons and released them onto the world. Flash forward several years later, and we found out that there's been a battle against humankind with these dragons, and the dragons are ultimately winning with a few tribes spread out throughout the earth. We meet. Sorry, excuse me. I'm just going through this as fast as I can. We meet Denton Van Zandt and the Kentucky Irregulars showing up in England on their way to what city in London? Or are they going to London?
To London.
London, yeah.
Ground Zero.
To kill the alpha male, the dominant dragon, to put an end to this war they're fighting in.
Sorry, did they ever say how they got all of their equipment from Kentucky over to England?
A plane. They rebuilt.
Yeah, they flew it in that.
They rebuilt a plane, man.
Oh, okay.
Two engines.
Because well, let me ask you guys: do any of you know how the Scooby Doo gang got the mystery machine and all those different countries they went to?
Cargo ship, I'm assuming.
Maybe. All right, go ahead.
Maybe.
Sorry.
We find out that Matthew McConaughey is a prolific dragon hunter. He drafts several of Christian Bale's men into this fight, who ultimately gets destroyed. He mentions that dragons are vulnerable to dawn or dusk?
Twilight.
Twilight.
Mist. Because he brought up the misty Kentucky night.
Is their weakness, and they devise
the magic hour.
And they devise a plan to kill the final dragon in Twilight. And so that's the basic synopsis of the movie. I want to come back to the very beginning, because this is where I had the most trouble with the film.
Yeah. Like,
Before
what are
the
they thinking?
dragons show up. That's
Not
where
the
you have
dragons.
No.
The dragons were cool.
Okay.
I want to start with a young Quinn who goes to this dig site, right? And he apparently does not give one single fuck about OSHA, because he's like traversing through this dig site with zero hard hat.
He's a kid, you know.
Now I want to make it very clear that this movie, the beginning here with young Quinn, it's 2002.
OSHA was a thing.
Quinn,
but, yeah.
Christian Bale, it is 2020.
Does England have
Yep.
OSHA?
So I mean, I'm just using that as like the rules that were in 2002 probably said no 9-year-olds in the dig site. Probably.
Allegedly, yeah.
So yeah, and I'm pretty sure they also said don't offer them cigarettes either.
I have like 20 problems with the
Yeah,
beard.
he's getting the black lung anyway. Just like the dragons.
Yeah, I will say that he is able to riff pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a roughneck down there with those guys.
You got to be hard when you grow up with coal miners and such.
Well, here's the thing: is he goes to see his mother about some scholarship that he didn't get, and it's what, roughly $3,000 a year or something.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's 3,000 pounds. So it's,
It
5,000,
doesn't
6,000.
matter
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure that as a project engineer for the whatever dig site they're working on, I'm pretty sure his mother could afford a measly 3,000 pounds a year. So that's
She's spending all her money on beers for her team.
That's true. That's true.
Good leader.
And fire extinguishers.
Shitty mom.
Somebody's got to replace all that.
It was a big excursion. Like they were digging there was a tunnel for something. I think that I mean, I don't know. It's not really important, but
It didn't.
it
Seem
wasn't
like it was
like
for coal or anything. I
it
don't know
wasn't
what
like they were.
digging
They
for.
weren't just digging a hole in London. Like so she definitely has enough money to put this little kid through.
And I don't care, like any construction site you ever been to, those dudes get mad overtime and they get paid mad money.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She has a fucking gambling addiction, a drug problem. There's something going on with this kid's mom. So they open up, they find a void, and the dude who found the void goes, "Hey Quinn, why don't you just crawl in there and explore?"
So terrible.
And what he finds in there is a dragon. What did you guys think of the dragons in this movie?
I like them.
They were pretty
I
cool.
like the way they were. I mean, I didn't think they were cheesy. Just went with the regular, what everybody says dragons look like. Guess from old, when they first started. But I like the way they look.
I liked the aspect where they like spit that they like basically their fuel out and then they light it on fire. It was like they would ignite that, like there's two separate mechanisms rather than just like
The two gases or
creating
whatever.
flame.
Yeah.
The movie came out in 2002.
You,
I've seen worse CGI in 2022
Yeah.
in some
Yeah, too.
things.
Yeah.
So I mean, there were some parts in there where I was like, but
I have no qualms with the dragons.
no, none.
Did all the dragons have holes in their wings? Am I making that up? Or did they all have like
So they can
holes
land
in the leather?
faster, Herschel.
Is that what it is? Oh shit.
They were kind of netted almost.
Yeah, well, I was never on a carrier. Sorry.
Herschel, weren't you a stand-in paratrooper for the movie Renaissance Man?
Not a paratrooper, just a stand-in guy in the background. Yeah.
Okay.
Is
That's
this
my
true?
15 minutes. Yeah, it's my 15 minutes. Sure did. I was a. Let me make it even better for you. I was a stand-in for Mark Wahlberg because we're the same height. So let that sink in, Sabrina.
Weren't you in like a jogging scene or something?
I mean, there was a lot of crap. So, the stand-in, basically they come in, they do their little rehearsal, and then they're like, all right, important people go to makeup. Stand-in, come here so we can get the lighting and, pull a little, bullshit up to your face or whatever.
Yeah.
So while they're doing their principal actor stuff, we're all in the background marching or doing
Getting marks,
push-ups
yeah.
or whatever. It was a fun time. I got to meet Danny DeVito and Gregory Hines and Stacey Dash and Marky Mark. Who else?
Yeah.
Kadeem Hardison, Dwayne Wayne. He was hot back then in '93.
Lilo Broncata.
Lilo Broncata. Yeah. Totally forgot since he went to jail or something. But yeah, it's a good time. Got to watch a movie being made, so it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty neat time. Has absolutely nothing to do with dragons. But
I would imagine that they have holes in their wings so they can lower quicker. Because if their whole wing was all the skin or whatever, it would kind of parachute them a little bit. So you gotta have those holes to be able, what's that called? Less drag?
Less
Sure.
drag.
it's in the name.
Well, I did read that they used the dragon fire breathing mechanics inspired shows and movies like Game of Thrones and The Hobbit, Desolation of Smog, and stuff like that.
They scurry out of there really fast though. And the guy's like, it's unsafe and there's unsafe conditions. But as the kid has already proven by like getting his face sprayed by dragon goo.
Yeah.
The Iowa station scene, like I don't know why I notice these things now, but like the Iowa station was used and stuff like that.
Has anybody ever used an iWatch station?
Never.
I have.
Only to play with.
Only when I'm thirsty.
Make sure it works. Yeah, that's about it.
Never for real. Or to do a really cake spot check.
I was working on a fuel cell and on the helo and it leaked and I got a drop of JP5 in my eyes, so I had to go wash it out.
Right.
Now she has X-ray vision.
Now I have X-ray vision.
She sees right through Adam's bullshit.
Usually.
In a
That's
couple of years.
It's so thinly veiled though sometimes that I can't tell.
Yeah. I watched the Norm Macdonald Bob Saget roast, so I probably got some corny ones coming.
Oh, great.
We get some exposition about how dinosaurs dragons came before dinosaurs, and they're the ones responsible for their extinction. And I forget, do we know why they went into hibernation?
Why? Who went?
I didn't catch that part.
I believe it's because what happened was after they turned the
their food source, right?
Earth to ash, it ushered in the new ice age, and then that caused them to drive underground as more of like a hibernation period. And then this London thing awakened the ancient male that came up and then fertilized all the female eggs as they all started to. I'm not making this up.
I totally believe
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And then in the ensuing wars,
because there was that brief history spot.
Well,
where they talked about all that.
He started by he was like writing. He says, "I'm writing this to you, and I don't know who you was or is, or what purpose it was." But he goes into this like deep history, as if he's writing a letter to his children or somebody he cares about.
He's been keeping a history of all the things, like, he did the Star Wars thing for the kids. He's keeping all these records because he's not living the life that the Kentucky
Joe is really into this movie.
He's doing the keep everybody alive as long as possible. He's got all these little kids there. I mean, like if you're in a Star Wars position, I'm not taking children. But I understand, if you're trying to just keep everybody safe. He's more of like a fucking babysitter than anything. There's other adults there, but I mean, everybody there, nobody's there as a fighter. None of them look like it. I mean, Christian Bale with his shirt off does, and that kid that he's raising. I mean, even that guy Eddie, the guy that decided they were just going to go eat the tomatoes and shit early without the germination process and all that, and. I mean, he's a fucking overweight, like 50-year-old dude. Yeah, he's not a fighter.
They're more about just surviving.
They are surviving.
The culture.
That's and McConaughey, says like, you're not saving anybody. You're just keeping them alive long. I mean, that's like you got to stop this shit. Yeah, 320 years. Then we'll be okay. But.
He's passionate about this.
You're good. Very passionate about this. It's not a documentary, Joe. It's just a movie, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen his tattoo?
He's very serious.
Joe loves dragons.
Speaking of which, my second ship was the USS Way City, and a guy got a tattoo of a dragon on his forearm. And we're in CSMC, and I was on watch, and the guy was in there, and somebody comments on his tattoo. He goes, "Oh man, it looks realistic, dude." And I said, "No, it does not. It can't look realistic because dragons aren't real." It's like people who say the word literally all the time. Literally lost his arm, so it can't happen. But I wanted to ask about Christian Bale. He's a dragon fireman. Was his job?
What?
He's
Well,
surrounded
Job is like
himself.
he's a
with-
fireman, correct?
Is that
That's
true?
That's what his
the
job was.
description.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the description of
Do
the
you
movie
guys-
is a fireman. Yeah.
And do you guys know what a group of dragons is called?
It's a
Brothel?
A
perch or
horde?
something like that.
I don't know.
You said a brothel?
A flock?
Joe?
A brothel of dragons.
It's a thunder.
Roach.
A thunder of dragon.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
That sounds cool. Yeah, I can
Remember
dig
this
that.
movie? Or did you look this up? Did
Oh, I
you
looked it
this?
up. Anytime I see a group of
Are you getting
anytime I
jealous,
see
Joe?
a
Yeah, Joe's
group
like-
of animals,
I'm just trying to see. He got something I did. Like, where was that at? in this movie?
Yeah, exactly.
you know, I'm like, what's a group of owls called? It's a college, you know?
Can I do one more segue?
Okay.
Sure.
Somebody mentioned about the play, the Star Wars play.
Mm-hmm.
So had I seen this movie before I signed the EMI, my top 5 would have been top 5 movies that you could reenact as a play. I just want to know, like, right now, like around the room, one movie that you could pass as a play because you just know enough about the movie
Oh.
in this apocalyptic setting. Starting with, I don't know, Chris seems like he'd have one right off the bat.
Like a movie I could just that I know
Pass
so
off,
well. I could,
yeah, that you could pass off as a play.
Bedtime story.
Oh. Yeah, I would do yeah, I saw the Star Wars one, so I could do Point Break.
Point Break.
Especially since they have Point Break live now that they travel around and do in certain bars.
Herschel, you got a movie?
Yeah. I mean, since it's topical, I'll do Halloween from '78.
Joe, you got a movie?
I could do a Miracle with Kurt Russell.
Oh wow.
Ooh, that's a good
Nice.
one.
Andy, you got a movie?
But like, I definitely know Monty Python's Quest for the Holy Grail inside and out. So that one.
Sabrina?
The only thing that comes to mind is the Lord of the Rings.
And then
It'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
I think I could do Home Alone.
we got a nice mix up in over here.
So that would, had I seen this movie, that would have been my original. That would have been my top 5, but I saw it too late.
Yeah.
So we find out, yeah, we'll get into the Christian Bale is apparently this community manager / dragon firefighter.
Something like that.
Were you
Yeah.
asking?
Yeah, a little bit. We meet
Open
this
to your
group-
interpretation.
we meet this group or an officer of the community that wants to raid the garden the garden because they're starving and they don't want to raid the process. And then while they're in the middle of the raid, they get attacked by our first dragon battle of the movie.
Yeah.
Do the Kentucky Irregulars come after the battle? Did they chase it away? I already
Yeah, it was after.
After,
That's it.
yeah.
So the
'Cause
dragon.
they steal away at the night. They try to go out and he takes the keys, and then later that night, when everybody's asleep, they try to go.
So they do the raid. There's some casualties with the dragon attack. The dragon goes away, and then the Kentucky Irregulars
Yeah.
come in.
Show up like
Yeah.
shortly
Correct.
after kind of thing. Yeah.
Let's get into Matthew McConaughey, his character.
If I may.
Go for it.
Thank you so much. Now, earlier when you gave us the a little cast everybody as whatever, I was the farmer guy, and you're like, dude, you're from Kansas. And then this movie automatically, right off the bat, tells you that do not mess around with me, big guy. McConaughey,
Thought he said he was from Kentucky.
he is, but when he shows the dragon tooth to Christian Bale to show him how serious he is about, whatever it is he wants to do, he tells him, he's like, not a lot of men have seen one of these. And then he goes, he tells you, he's like, there was a wheat field south of Coffeyville, Kansas,
Yeah.
Yeah,
late November
he killed a dragon in Kansas.
in Coffeyville.
He's not
and
from
just-
Kansas.
No, but
Can you let Joe
Uh,
finish his point?
I think that it's just fine. And then when he explains Coffeyville, and he's like, we're the townspeople. Like I mean, get off of it, Supreme shit. I'm just saying. Every other movie has somebody from fucking California, or even a reference to California. I get one Kansas thing
I know,
one
I got
time,
excited
or
for
New
you.
York, or whatever. I get one Kansas thing, and you want to
I
shit
got
all over
excited
me.
for you. The
All right,
Coffeeville people are tough people.
Joe,
Go
just to
Coffeeville,
piggyback,
Kansas.
off Joe's Dragon Tooth.
Oh, my favorite.
I wrote Matthew McConaughey hands Christian Bale this Dragon Tooth. But Christian Bale, what he does not know is you can get one of those in any gas station in Florida or Louisiana.
You know,
And a small alligator head if you want.
speaking of gas stations, you know, the whole earth has been decimated. We get this little animation of like the whole thing being turned to ash, but they got no problem finding fuel for vehicles. I mean, like there's plenty of gas and diesel and JP5 or 8 or whatever you got in your eye. I mean, where's all this shit at?
That helicopter flying around all willy-nilly was making me
They
crazy.
went the E85 route, you know, got that ethanol going.
I guess, man.
It has been 20 years too for the Dragons have been burning shit up for 20 years. So this isn't like 8 months into it. We're like, oh shit, I found somebody's basement and they had a can of gas.
Yeah.
You know, this is 20 years they've been shooting nukes. The world is destroyed not only by dragons but by man as well, and trying to defeat the dragons. The major cities have already been taken over by dragons. There's a ton of food there, and then the cities were destroyed by our nuclear weapons.
In my brain, they're harvesting dragon glands and taking their fuel.
Maybe.
I buy it.
They were converting dragon glands into fuel.
Yeah,
the juice.
Whatever.
They're milking the dragon.
What I don't like about I don't like when they use filters in movies. I don't like how they had this filter made it look gray all the time. I understand it's supposed to be burned up in ash. I just hate filters.
It's England.
And the way the movie looked, it made me feel like we were in Norfolk. It looked like that every day in Norfolk, did it not?
I think that was key to this. That it was misty all the time and it was foggy all the time because it's England and it's foggy as hell there. And that's the only place where dragons apparently are weak, is in the fog, which I think that's a huge flaw of this film, by the way.
I would like to talk about how they portrayed Americans during this time.
Loved it.
What's that?
Loved it.
Loved it.
Beginning with McConaughey's outfit.
I had a hard time thinking, I'm like, do the other actors really have to take him serious with this outfit that he chose with the cigar? And I did write Matthew McConaughey's tattoos are very anti-high fructose corn syrup.
They were.
I wrote
tribal tattoos were so cool.
I wrote this and I want to get Herschel's opinion. I wrote
yes, sir.
I wrote sawed-off shotgun with 3 question marks.
Yeah, I watched this and I thought that too. Like he's this huge dragon slayer, yet he's got something that, you know, he's got a max range of what, 30 yards on this thing?
30 yards, 35 yards.
And so I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe that's just how badass he is. He wants them to get that close. But then as soon as they get that close, he retreats under a tank, you know, cowers under a tank. His whole team gets wiped out.
Is that when his back caught fire for just 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Because I laughed my ass off when that happened.
Ever so slightly. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not my first choice. I guess it's the apocalypse. You do what you got to do. But then again, he had a tank, so I feel like he had his choice of weapons. Even Christian Bale's group that was not a fighter, they had plenty of rifles.
Like,
so,
has a sawed-off shotgun ever been cool?
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Tons of times.
Did you not watch Miami Vice? Come on,
Army of Darkness.
Yeah,
any movie about South Central LA in the 80s and 90s and drive-by culture?
Dude, bro. Yeah, there's plenty of cool sawed-off shotguns. I just don't know that was the look.
But maybe it was also that the shotgun wasn't for the dragon threat, but, you know, the inevitable, when you get so far into a post-apocalyptic scenario that it becomes more about humankind as the greater threat than, you know,
Well,
supernatural entity at that point.
that is what they
I
were
guess
worried
so.
about when they first showed up, that they were going to be
Otters.
marauders.
Yeah.
I
so-
guess so.
Yeah. I was
Uh,
thinking this movie's set in England. I was like not excited about watching this movie. I said, okay, it's set in England. Is McConaughey supposed to try an English accent in this movie or something? Because I can't see it. But then it was like, oh, he's a Kentucky irregular. He's going to do his whole, we're the badass Americans that are here to save the day, like every other movie. You know, if we ever watch Armageddon. But
I'll tell you, I popped an America erection when he walked in after that. You know, they were all celebrating in England after you know his team brought down that dragon, and he's like, what did he say? He goes, cheer your
The country that has here or
yeah,
has
yeah.
heroes,
And then
Yeah.
and then
Praise the country that has heroes.
and then something the country that needs heroes or something.
weep for the
Yeah.
country that needs heroes or something, and everyone's like, what? Why would you say that? He's like, because I came over here from America and I kicked the shit out of a dragon for y'all real quick.
Real
and
quick.
now and I guess I guess dragon meat's not edible. I mean, I don't know why they didn't like slice that thing up.
Yeah, they just let it rot to
Probably
to-
Was
spoiled with
This
all the jet
make
fuel
the,
inside.
gonna stink.
they don't like the smell of their own dead, so they were protecting themselves by letting
But I
it
feel
rot.
that you could have like, you know, cut off a
No, I
back
agree.
strap or something.
At least take a flank or something.
And people eat iguanas.
Yeah.
So
But maybe nobody had a good recipe. You know?
oh come on, they've been dealing with this shit for 20 years. I'm sure some
Okay.
hillbilly in Kentucky is eating.
McConaughey.
They got-
McConaughey was there. He's from Texas. All right.
They'd
They know how
eat
to
it.
freaking barbecue.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's eating
He spent some
armadillos
time
and
in
shit.
Kansas.
Speaking of which, these fuckers have sawed-off shotguns and helicopters. What happened to all the heat-seeking missiles that could have just taken these fucking dragons out? It would have been right at their lungs. You know, they got
They
that
said for
furnace.
every one that they killed, 100 more came in their place.
Yeah, they did say that.
They're like,
Bring them
I
like
don't remember
rabbits.
how much I love this movie for Joe.
If Trump
They
was
just-
still
it.
president, we would have used those tomahawks. All right.
We did though. They nuked it to
They
no
nuked
effect.
them.
They used nukes to no effect.
We went
all they
off.
did was kill the
No.
females.
We
We
went
used
off.
up all of our weapons. We didn't realize that there was a single bull for the whole world
So
to
we
take
did.
down, apparently.
We went all Putin on them.
Join
Um,
ourselves.
Got
Can't-
too big for our britches.
Can we talk about the helicopter, the helo jumpers for?
The Archangel.
Archangels.
Yeah, there you go.
Archangels.
They live for 15 seconds.
15
minutes.
seconds once they step out that door.
That's you would think they'd have lines of them then, but I guess they're
They can only get
down.
2 at a
they're,
time.
They're down to the last 3 or 4
Yeah.
archangels, I guess.
Look at Fast and the Furious. How many people live their life a quarter mile at a time, just like these guys?
Yeah.
Quarter mile at a time. There's
Um,
nothing to say about them besides like that's a terrible job.
And that one, I think the black dude who had his one line in the movie and he fucking delivered it. I don't remember what the line was.
I don't remember the line, but
I don't remember the
boy, did
line, but he
they
did
it.
a good job at that one line.
I didn't say he did a good job. I just said he tried to deliver it the best that he could.
So
All the
Yeah,
actors like kind of overacted a little bit. Just to
they sold it. They were selling this whole thing.
they
and Joe bought
tried.
every
They
bit
pulled
of
their
it.
weight. That was like the script and the movie itself that didn't pull its weight.
So can someone explain something for me?
Joe can.
I'm not
Is
probably.
this Joe's
I'm not-
episode? Adam?
I'm not a radar person,
Uh-huh.
but
Oh,
what
Joe can.
exactly were they setting? That's true. I've sat MSS. There's not a lot to it, but what exactly were they doing with the 3? That's how they needed a 3D picture in order to.
Triangulate in position.
They had to
Is that what it
triangulate
was?
the signals. Yeah.
Oh,
That's I don't know
okay.
what
I
signals.
don't. I get that was kind of where I was like, I didn't know what signal they were putting up or what they were doing, but and if they
They must
could,
have.
I don't
Maybe they
think
hijacked a satellite.
I like to believe that if there were dragons on planet Earth right now, we probably wouldn't be able to pick them up on radar.
I'm assuming they needed a 3D picture so that they could line up the spear.
That was they did say that they're getting a 3D
Graphical
Because
map.
it was so
Yeah,
foggy. It's
I'm
always
just
so
saying,
foggy. They can't actually see.
We didn't
And I
develop
mean-
some sort of a weapon defense system, dragon defense system by now. I mean,
Well, we haven't really
what's taking
needed
these
to.
people?
I mean, I'm sure
And,
there's some nerd developing one somewhere.
I
But
really loved the Christian Bale coming to rescue on a horse, though. Like
That was good, man.
that was
I
very
was like-
enjoyable.
Straight
I
out of
wrote down like things I liked with this movie, like dragons, horses, tanks, and helicopters.
You know, you
I
just
was-
you
this
sound like
movie-
a third grader. Like
That's
what
what I
words did you learn
just
today?
was like, he sounds like he's 10.
It's like all the
I
stuff you
know.
used to draw.
I'm like all the things
I
I
would
wanted to be
really
as a
like it.
kid.
Can you please?
You wanted to
Like,
be
were
a
you holding
dragon
your
in a
pen like
helicopter?
this when you were writing it? Like, can you hold up your notes so we can see how it's written? So,
Oh my
not
god,
to
you're
belabor.
right. It's not great.
That's
That's
my
sad.
quick handwriting. That's my note-taking handwriting.
So
No, there was
I-
every time I turned around, like something else showed up that I was like, dude, I kind of like this too. Like I was like, damn, a horse. I got like these people are so hungry, mind you. Like okay, so they made a very specific point to bring out like, do not harvest that food because it is not ready because there will be no seeds for next year. So you know
That's how
that
tomatoes
every year there is a problem with food, and there's a lot of kids to feed over there. In fact, you saw when those people did break into the farm, like they immediately started like, housing tomatoes.
Yeah.
So, they make it a point that there's no food or whatever, and all of a sudden, so I know they're not eating meat because I'm not seeing any animals, but he's on a horse. So horses, keep in mind, horses for the normal American human being, are they like, and people that may watch this show and be a horse enthusiast, really into equestrian, will find this offensive, but horses are pretty worthless. You ride them around, but
Well,
constantly you feed them. They're a monster ass animal, and all you do is you pump food into them. Now, in a post-apocalyptic scenario, I can see where one would come in handy, but you already got people that are starving.
I ate horse in Italy.
This is
I'm pretty
this is
sure
where
I
the
have
saying
too.
"I'm so hungry I could eat a horse" came from.
Mhm.
But why were there so many children? I saw 2 women in the fucking movie.
I have
Who's,
like a
who's
whole issue
fucking
with
who
that.
over here?
Where are the parents? Where are the other adults? Why are all the children sleeping in one giant room together? Like, why is it run like an orphanage?
He's getting groomed to be the next leader of the group. He's from the orphanage, and I'm assuming that all those other kids are too. And you have a situation where Christian Bale's like, I was a kid and I saw all this shit happen from ground zero. I was the first one to see a dragon. My mother got killed by one, maybe more of like a protector type role in this situation where he's like, managed to like scoop up these kids. He's not scooping up children, but like a village has been like destroyed, or there's
survivors of the
a little
children
kid that's in rubble or something, and he scoops them out and he's like, come live with me in this commune where
you're not answering. You're just rambling.
Yeah.
What we're
let's
asking
go
is,
first.
see this?
Wait, the kid
How-
that
how
he's
are-
grooming to be his leader, he said that he found him next to his dead mother. He wasn't
Yeah.
at an orphanage. All these children didn't come from an orphanage, Joe. He's been collecting these kids, whether they're orphans or not,
The survivors.
over the years. But I'm confused as to why on earth you would think it's a good idea to put a range of ages of children all in one giant room together with no grown-up or anything, or like, where are the
Look
other
like,
adults? Because they're clearly there for the party.
it's a little like Webb's birthing. So what I was thinking was there's no women in this movie, and Matthew McConaughey brought one. But I'm like, how are they having children when Matthew McConaughey's the only one that has balls?
Well, Dennis his buddy, the one of the guys that runs away and like steals away in the night to steal fruit in the morning for some reason, like he got out of bed with a woman.
Wait.
There was a woman in that bed with him, and she ratted him out.
Are tomatoes fruits or vegetables?
They're fruits.
Okay.
Fruits, yeah.
They have seeds. They're not hand fruits, of course. Unless you get the famous Hampton tomatoes from Seinfeld.
Why are they only growing tomatoes? Crop diversity is very important.
Well,
and tomatoes are
my question is,
water.
There was a woman that I guess she was attracted to Christian Bale, and he's all beat up and his lips are bleeding, and she's touching his open wounds with her fingers. Is that not gross to anybody else? Is that...
I thought the whole it was so weird and rushed.
All right.
What?
I just that's nothing.
I have so many rants I want to go on.
I just want to point out another thing is that after the Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey fight, where McConaughey somehow loses his shirt, and then in the next,
he took it off.
Okay, and then in the
but
next,
it happened so fast.
Not to
in the contract.
He's not wearing a shirt. He's just had that sawed off jacket. Like that's it.
Yeah.
There is no shirt.
Well, I thought it was funny that in the very next scene, Christian Bale had to take his shirt off to put iodine on the cut on his arm.
Also, he's like shaking the iodine bottle at his whole arm. Like
in a time where they're like
limited resources,
have limited resources,
it doesn't hurt that bad.
He's not a medic. He's a farmer. But
he's doing it like
he's a fireman, for God's sake.
The fireman. He
so much
raises
agony.
children.
It's gonna sting.
Okay? Firemen's no first aid.
I'm only assuming he acted like that. I'm only assuming he acted like that because he had no idea what iodine was. She told him, she was like, it's iodine. It stings like hell. It cleans the shit out of everything, or whatever she said. Yeah. And he looked at it like, I don't know, giving like an Apple computer to an ape.
But they've already established how smart and clever and like personable he is.
Which is totally opposite of what Christian Bale really is, I think.
Maybe, I don't know.
I love that Terminator 2 rant that he went on, man, or whatever that was behind the scenes. You fucking got the going absolutely bonkers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now I want to bring up the second thing that I didn't like with this movie, and I'm gonna attribute it to budget concerns. But in the movie, I like the 3 battle system, where the first battle introduces you to the antagonist.
Right.
The second battle is when they think they're winning, but they ultimately lose the battle. And then the third battle is when they ultimately win. Yeah. And I feel like we got cheated out of one dragon battle.
Yeah.
I don't know that you necessarily got cheated. I'm not sure where else they were going to go. I mean, they decimated his whole column thing there. Like,
they killed
McConaughey is this huge badass.
Well, the second battle was on their way to London, where his whole team got destroyed.
Yeah. And I mean, they were letting loose with everything they had, and it was to no effect. Zero, zip, dude, nada, including his shotgun. But
the third battle was
thankfully the helicopter survived.
So what happened in this movie? Is it they had to kill the male dragon?
The male dragon.
Yeah. Yep. So that he could stop.
We went with the alien movie theory. You got 4,000 alien ships, but all you got to do is kill this one, and the rest die.
Well, and the entire world has been decimated for decades. They couldn't figure it out, but one dude from Kentucky who wears a dragon tooth with really cool tattoos, he's got it. He knows what's what.
And then there's no like beta male dragon that's there just in case the alpha male perishes.
Yeah.
I guess, man. All their eggs in that.
The whole mist thing drives me nuts.
I thought the dragon embryo was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was weird. Like, it was cool to show it, but to what avail?
Just
I
for
guess
BS.
to
It's pointless.
confirm it was a female, maybe. I don't know. I don't know, because he said he had never. He didn't know. He was always running for cover. He never stopped to check the sex of a dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
I just, you'd want to, if you're going to have Matthew McConaughey in a movie, you want to say, that's a dragon vagina.
Let me find an ovum.
You've seen one. You've seen them all. You
So,
got
Ew.
the ham wallet. What do you want to call these?
Ew.
Here? What are names? What would a
God.
dragon
So-
vagina be called?
Oyster
so
Man.
McConaughey's
Flesh lettuce.
regiment gets decimated. He comes back to enlist the help of Quinn. Quinn,
But-
and yep.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Quinn and Jensen make their way back into London for the final.
I think it's
dragon.
worth noting
Yeah.
really quickly. I know you're trying to get there, but so it wipes out McConaughey's whole armored column and knows exactly where to go to wipe out its next most viable threat, which is this castle.
Yeah.
The dragon goes on the rampage. They had never seen this thing ever, and all of a sudden, bam, there it is.
Doesn't he mention like that was his biggest fear, was that by going after the dragon, he was going to lead the dragons back to them?
I mean, I guess, but how would the dragon know that?
Typically said
Because
that.
at that point, they all left, He was still there. His whole commune was there. I don't know.
They interrogated him before.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm
Maybe they
applying
picked
logic
up
to
the
this.
scent of human flesh.
I
Followed
suppose.
it. It wasn't that far of a.
Because they're
a commute.
basically fire-breathing puppies of the sky.
Here.
But I'm sorry, you were saying, so we're down to 3 people here. And they're going
Make
to-
their way to London for the
Yep.
final epic battle with the dragon. McConaughey valiantly sacrifices his life in an epic jumping off the ledge into the mouth of a dragon. For what
One of the
reason?
dumbest fucking things I've ever seen. A guy that should have been doing better heroing, I guess, is what I want. Like he did like the equivalent of like The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson like jumping off the roof and like the other guys.
Guys.
Like aim for the bushes, and the first time
Yeah.
you see the movie, you're like, "What? Why would they do that?" And then they die, and then you laugh your nutsack off. But he just does it, and I'm like, "Dude, are you kidding me?" Like at this point, it didn't even like distract the dragon. He didn't break stride.
No.
He just,
Yeah, fuck it.
and I'm like, well, I really had something crazier going on. I thought maybe you'd put the axe in like his chest and like kind of hang for a minute or something. But
Yeah, it just jumped right in there, said, "Eat me."
I did not.
hey,
I thought that he
dickhead,
covered
quit
himself
carrying-
in some poison or something. I don't know what he did.
No, he didn't. He shit himself right before he died.
Yeah, like
He
did
was
he
going
do
for
some like
the long death.
like
The
oh I'm
bacteria-
tired of
He's got a sepsis now.
Yes.
it was like
Yeah,
they gave him sepsis through Matthew from Van
it was
Zandt.
like you're the
I
only
love-
one who
Yeah,
knows how to kill
hepatitis.
dragons. You're the only one in the world who knows how to kill dragons from Kentucky, and you're gonna just go ahead and fucking die like that. Like, oh, I got a fucking like a pocket knife.
What's
and
worse
then
is-
like, did you sign off the PQS of those guys already? they know how to do it. They can take the torch.
Are they ready
And-
for this?
everybody sees McConaughey at the beginning of this movie, shaved head, looking fucking cut, ladies. He's got sweet tribal
Thanks, Joe.
tats. And this guy's like, the Kentucky Dragon Slayer. I mean, that's like, he's serious business. He killed one in Coffeyville. And this guy carries a fucking axe that has, I don't know, 2.5, 3 feet of range, swinging it, getting tired, and sawed-off shotgun. At no point in time to see.
Yep.
I mean, like, I guess like if he pulled out a switchblade and maybe jumped off that thing, I'd been like, all right, that's kind of cool. But
Like in his mouth, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
As he's like,
He like puts it in his mouth and like jumps at the. I don't
yeah, like all the. I mean, he doesn't carry any awesome weapons. He doesn't even do anything fucking cool. killing dragon wants. He just kind of tells everyone else what to do. They shoot some shit at it, blah blah. He goes down and he like hits the jugular of an already dead. I guess he did shoot that big ass arrow at it. That Christian Bale like
did
dodged.
fire.
The magnesium tip.
No, the big ass arrow at the beginning. The only dragon he actually killed.
Well, that we
That
see
we
him
saw.
actually kill.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that chick, she killed 200. And I know that, but he's killed at least one for sure in Coffeyville, Kansas, just south of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of rich history
And
out
then I was
here.
really mad that like Quinn just dropped his weapon. Like, this mission depends on you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, the first thing he does is drop his weapon.
The one thing you needed to have. You
Yeah.
had he had like 3 of them in his pocket, didn't he? He
But
dropped
they
all
also, like,
Yeah,
3 of them.
they wanted Alex to come, and then once they got there, they were like, Alex, you stay hidden here and do nothing and wait.
Yeah.
Like, this was the worst plan ever.
Yet
It
it
was a
worked.
bad plan.
Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't think we'd get this far.
That's
it-
basically
oh,
what
shit.
happened. Yeah, no, he drops his weapon. She just cowers because that's what she was told to do, and he just Van Zant jumps into a dragon's mouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
Well, if you have a shitty plan,
I
You know,
like the
now
way
I
they
can't
Van
even remember
Zandt.
how the dragon dies.
Me neither.
Christian Bale shoots one in his
Christian
mouth.
Bale shoots him with the titanium C4 arrow.
The thing that he dropped,
right as
he
he
had to run back
inhales.
yeah.
Okay.
Because Alex showed him, oh, it's over there by that truck. And, he retrieves his arrow.
Yeah.
And
Who was the American guy from Kentucky's last name?
Van
Van Zandt.
Van
Van
Zant.
Zandt.
There's a space.
Denton Van Zant.
I hate his name.
Yeah.
Well,
You can't. If you're a real
Great-grandfather.
American, Sabrina, you'll never
Bobby.
hate the name Van Zandt.
There was no
Obviously
T on
not
the
a
end, it was
Leonard
Van
Skinner
Zandt.
fan over here, huh?
Yeah.
Golly.
Mm-mm.
And then
No Skinner fans.
Yeah.
Yep.
they kill the dragon. They get a radio message from France
France.
Oh, Jesus.
wanting to speak to the leader, and then Christian Bale hands the reins over to his number 2.
His new number 2 because his
A
homeboy
teenager.
dies, yeah.
Meanwhile,
Gerard.
he says, I can't speak French. So, but go take care of it. Figure it out.
Got to be an ambassador.
And then we end with the most stereotypical 2000s ending with some new metal fucking song.
Right.
What was it?
Hot.
No one gives
Don't
a
know.
shit.
I don't have no idea. But that was like typical of that era.
Yes.
Adam, you're a big POD fan, right?
No.
I've seen him in concert.
So
Suicidal tendencies,
I feel like
Suicidal
Deftones.
tendencies.
it brought me back
That's
to
a little
junior
different.
high so quickly, you guys.
I'm going back to all the metal bands from California here.
Now I'll open up the floor to you guys. Anything that I missed, anything you found interesting, anything you want to discuss, anything that I didn't hit that's on your notes.
I have
is
so many-
Gerard Butler the Nick Cage of like, was he from like Australia or New Zealand or whatever?
Australia.
Where like,
Scotland. He's from Scotland.
yeah, like some of his movies are good, but some of them are really bad. And it's like, is he a good actor or not? I don't know. That was what I was thinking when I saw him. I'm like, is he
I like
good?
Gerard Butler. He does
guy.
like to say "take it in the ass" in a few of his movies.
Well, I
Um,
mean, he did make the greatest gay porn of all time, 300. So, I mean, I don't know. When you say some of his movies are good, which ones did you like? Just because I like asking this question.
Right. Well,
The Ugly
300.
Truth, Herschel,
that's a good one.
Just
300
curious.
with Sabrina's lady, Katherine Heigl.
The one he did with Jen Aniston was pretty decent.
Oh, The Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter's decent. Like he's done some good ones, but then he's
Okay.
done Chasing Mavericks and other ones
Yeah.
that are total horrible. So it's like,
Law-abiding
Hunter
citizen.
Killer.
Yeah.
law-abiding citizen.
That's a good one though. That's actually a decent
I
one.
kind of
thought.
liked that. I'm not sure I liked him in it, but I liked that movie.
But he's also not like Statham where he says yes to everything. So it's just kind of roll the dice. Like he seems to have some discretion in what he does, but just doesn't necessarily always pick winners.
Okay, fair enough.
I have some random nitpicky things I would just like to list off.
Go ahead.
Cool. So at the very beginning, when we get introduced to grown-up Quinn and he's like shirtless in this cave digging things, the other guy shows him this pipe and he holds up a lighter to look at the pipe properly. And I don't know what pipe it was or what, but that drove me nuts.
That was their magazine sprinkling system. That's what that was.
But in order to look at it, he used his lighter, which does not shine light on anything. It just drove me nuts. It was already well lit. He was not seeing it better. And then the people that stole away in the middle of the night to get the fruit, all dressed in black, thinking that they're going to be sleuthy, but by the time they get to the fruit, it's daylight, and that bothered me a lot. I was like,
Black
this is
clothes
not
no
well
longer matter.
I did enjoy the only thing worse than dragons is Americans line. I was like, they had to throw that in there. Like, of course, obviously.
Saved your ass once, that do it again, I guess, during Dragon times.
Yeah.
And the helicopter goodbye from Alex to Quinn.
Oh, and it's like
When it just hovered and you saw that, like, it would have been a longing like look back from between two lovers, but she was in the helicopter, so the helicopter stared at him
dipped.
and was like, bye buddy, and then laughed.
That was hilarious.
And then what I laughed at that. I also laughed at the when Van Zant jumps off the top of the tank and barely gets away, but he's got this tiny weird patch of fire on his back. It's hilarious.
As I'm watching, I'm like, why is he just like not like immediately that?
Why wouldn't you just duck into the tank?
I mean, then it's like an oven.
And Sabrina also mentioned like the Americans not getting wasted after battle victory.
Like that would be weird, right? Like you, like anybody in the US military, after any achievement you did, any achievement whatsoever, you went and got drinks after.
You're pounding beers.
You're pounding beers at a bar, making sure that everybody knows you accomplished something, no matter what it was.
Oh, why was McConaughey crying during that speech?
Yeah.
He cried
A lot.
twice,
It was
right?
awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm telling you,
More
these
importantly-
actors pulled out all of their abilities
overacting,
because the
the
movie sucked.
Was
Why is he carrying a hip flask with water in it?
was McConaughey trying to keep up with Bale when it came to acting in
I
this?
feel like it.
I felt like they were feeding off each other.
I
Gerard
think-
Butler was just like, whatever. I guess I'm here.
Joe, can I say something before I see you in pain? We all love Matthew McConaughey. That is a given.
Who?
He's an American hero, but this is not one of his best movies. We talked about Gerard Butler. What movies do you like from McConaughey? Dazed and Confused is a no-brainer. He was awesome. Debut,
And Tropic Thunder quite a bit.
Tropic Thunder, awesome.
That qualifies. Okay.
Oh, to be honest, I like his Lincoln commercials more than I like his movies, I think.
I hate his
Right.
commercials.
I was going to be on the road tonight.
He takes way too long to make a point. Like, just
That's
tell me
why
the
it's so
cars.
funny to me. Like, I don't know. I think, keep in mind, like, probably during 2002 or whatever, this is probably when I was in my McConaughey shitting on phase. I've gone through several actors that I've went on through phases where I've just shit on them for a long time. And then eventually I'm just like, you know what, man? I think they become like self-aware of their like fucking like.
Well, there was the
Like,
reconnaissance
I don't need
in like
all my actors to
2016.
be
so-
artistes.
You know, like I think McConaughey like finally realized that everyone kind of like dumps on him. Like maybe he got on Twitter and started like reading like tweets, about like people would like, like when he would post something or whatever. And it's like, holy shit, dude, a lot of people think I'm a fucking weirdo. Like I play bongos naked and I don't wear deodorant.
Who?
What?
And eventually he just like turned a corner and now I kind of enjoy him. And like I said, like I think it really started during those stupid commercials.
See, I
Sorry.
started hating him more when those happened.
My daughter had a field hockey game tonight, and I was going to go to that, and I was going to be in the car doing this, and I was going to do a McConaughey impersonation while I was driving to do the Lincoln commercials. Because I mean, South Park did some of the best ones, but
They were hilarious.
McConaughey, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he quit acting.
For
You know,
me.
he hasn't been in movies because everybody keeps throwing rom-coms at him. So he stopped. And let me tell you, he was awesome in those rom-coms. Ghosts of Girlfriends Past, awesome. The one with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, great. What was the other one with Sarah Jessica Parker?
Didn't he start doing
Failure to
villainy
Launch
things?
or
Those were a
something?
long
Failure to
time
launch.
ago.
Yeah.
That was good.
Wasn't there that
He did the Dark Tower, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he did
Interstellar.
The Lion King, not the Lion King. The
Interstellar.
what they've got like a
Sahara,
farm or
that's a great
something, and
one.
He's running
The
some-
Gentleman.
The Gentleman.
He's been working pretty consistent though. He's
So I
still
think you
gold.
just started ignoring him.
Who
Yeah.
won the movie?
Who won the movie?
Bale or McConaughey?
McConaughey?
McConaughey,
McConaughey.
Yeah.
Except for that weird death. Because like whenever he did that, he just like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to jump in the mouth of a dragon. Not a good plan, but I just
Wasn't
thought to
his
myself, I
choice.
was like, is the dragon going to explode now? What's happening? And I looked at
Maybe
my
he had a grenade
daughter.
or something.
Yeah.
His character grew.
But it was a dud.
You guys ready to get into some EMI?
Yep.
Yep.
Let's start off with I guess the top 5.
sure, why not?
The top 5, and I chose top 5 movies where you could insert a dragon to ultimately make it better or funner.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna start first, just to guys give you a sense of where I was going with it.
Mhm.
And I've actually did these in no particular order for once.
Thank you.
Number 1, RoboCop versus a dragon. And so I can't think of the designation of that giant machine.
The ED-20?
Yeah,
Ed
yeah.
209. Ed
Yeah,
209.
that's right.
At 209, I'm replacing
yeah.
that with the dragon, and I think that'd be an epic battle.
So we're in the first RoboCop as opposed to like
RoboCop
the
number
fourth
1,
or
yep.
something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 2, in the Matrix, the third Matrix, I want to do a Neo versus Dragon flying around in the city instead of replacing Smith.
Yeah.
Number 3, I'm just gonna go with the newest Top Gun Maverick, and in the ending scene, you just go up against a dragon.
Sure, why not?
I think that'd be pretty dope.
Okay.
I think it'd be cool to insert a dragon into the Mad Max movie, and once again, I'm going with Fury Road.
Yeah.
And then for my 5th and final top 5, I would like to insert a dragon into Battle Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like that movie the way it was.
The movie was horrible. But
What?
I
Yeah.
love that movie.
It's not
It's
too
garbage.
bad.
I don't
It's
know
terrible, but
Joe, you want to go next?
yeah, I'll go next. All right. So this I did like. All right. So there was a movie, and I don't know. I think it might be called The Happening, where like
Yeah,
it was like
is
M.
that
Night
M. Night
Shyamalan and
Yeah.
like Plants or
Wahlberg.
something.
Marky Mark.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marky Mark. Yeah.
Zoe
That movie was-
Deschanel.
Yeah, that movie was terrible. So I think a dragon would have made that a lot better.
It doesn't matter. Just throwing that in.
Just throw the
I
dragon.
love it.
The movie Blue Crush was absolutely horrible. I would just like to have a dragon in it to make that movie less shitty.
I like your take on this
So do
assignment.
Fast and Furious. I just want you to show a movie, or I'm sorry, a dragon in any of those movies. It doesn't matter which one. They went to outer space in a
The last one, yeah.
Fiero.
yeah,
Yeah.
in a Fiero. So I don't even care where you put a dragon in at this point in time. Shit, we can go back and just redo the first one and we can replace that guy, the main character dude, with a dragon. I don't
No,
shit.
sorry, Joe. To go with that, the dragon has to come off of Vin Diesel's tattoo.
Actually, Vin Diesel is inside
Off
of
of
the
the
dragon driving
decal.
him.
Off the decal of a car.
It goes off the decal. It's
Yeah.
a possessed decal.
They would
Okay,
probably make a giant hologram.
so my fourth one is any Jackie Chan comedy. I don't want to replace Jackie Chan with a dragon because I feel that would be almost like racist, but I'd be okay with maybe a Chris Tucker dragon or an Owen Wilson dragon.
Yeah, I thought of that. I thought
That's
of that
fair.
too.
That's very fair.
Mostly an Owen Wilson dragon sounds really fun to me. Like, wow. And then
Wow.
in order to keep it kind of, like we're doing the whole military thing here, and I don't want people to like shit all over me or be really upset about this. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but the movie Pearl Harbor was really, really shitty. So maybe instead of like the Japanese during Pearl Harbor, it was dragons.
I love it.
Solid.
Did you what roast was it? It was the Alec Baldwin roast where I think Jeff Ross said the Pearl Harbor movie was actually worse than the real Pearl Harbor.
Oh god. Sabrina, are you ready?
Sure, I'll go. So I had a different approach to this, but I don't want to necessarily change any movies, but I thought maybe just inserting a dragon there at some point would be kind of cool to see. So the Chronicles of Narnia.
The testicles or something.
Nards.
Yeah.
Nards. It's the Chronicles of Narnia. I thought, like, they have a giant epic battle and they probably could have used a dragon in there. The Princess Bride, because I feel like there could have been a dragon in there at some point, like a sleeping dragon that they had to creep by or anything really. Jurassic Park / World movies, like one of those scientists is a real nerd and probably made tried to make a mini dragon of some sort just because why wouldn't you if you could kind of situation.
And also the last ones were so shitty that a dragon would have helped overall.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right. I'm sorry to step on your shit.
And then I think I only wrote 4 actually. And then my last one was Battleship because I just thought why not? That would have been fun to have been able to pull out a dragon in that.
3 for 3 on military references.
Yeah.
I had thought about Battleship only because I would not mind seeing dragons versus a modern military on the seas. I would like to see
not the Kentucky Irregulars.
No. I want to see Sea Whiz and like some
Naval superiority.
SM2s.
Harpoon.
I did.
I want to. Yeah, that's what I want.
I did also write down maybe Neverland, but I hadn't come up with a scenario for that.
Andy, you ready?
Sure. Yeah. So, number 5 said Armageddon. So not only is there this asteroid coming, but on that asteroid is a dragon.
The asteroid is a dragon egg.
Maybe something like that, Then my next one, figured why not? Free Guy. Like it's a video game thing, so why not have him fight a dragon?
Yeah, I can see that.
Be fun. Then we're gonna up the ante in The Gray, taking on a plane, and he has to fight a dragon. Then I went Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, but not like a real dragon, like a Komodo dragon gets into the hijinks, like Kevin sets a trap with a Komodo dragon.
So dumb.
Bearded dragon.
Yeah,
That's good.
No,
and then
he bites like Harry and he dies from some weird Komodo dragon mouth disease.
6 months later.
And then the answer to Joe's, which Fast and the Furious to put him in, it's obviously Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift.
That's my number 1.
A Japanese dragon of you, dude.
Yeah.
We're touching the racism, but I'll allow it. Herschel.
It's part of their culture. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look
You
at
ever
the
seen
Yakuza.
Who's gonna
Japanese
get a
tattoo
dragon
artists?
revived and be there, right?
They make the most realistic dragon tattoos.
I'm sorry. Did I hear my name?
Yes.
All right. So again, in no particular order. Not that.
That's right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go with since we're doing military, Under Siege. So they're instead of trying to steal the tomahawks for whatever reason, inside those launchers there's dragons, either baby dragons, dragon eggs, whatever. North Koreans are going to put them on a sub, and that's how they're going to take over the world.
So stupid. I love it.
Which
Which
got
would
me
definitely
thinking,
steal a dragon.
exactly right. It's totally plausible. Which got me down kind of a Steven Seagal rabbit hole, and fire down below.
Tell me you did all
Chris-
5 Steven Seagal movies.
Not all 5, but the first couple. So Fire Down Below, you got Chris Christopherson. Instead of toxic waste, he's harvesting dragons in West Virginia coal mines. We've already got the title, Fire Down Below. I mean, come on, man. Then I went with Jaws. What? Jaws 3D, because of the 4, it's probably the worst. And you get a 3D dragon. It has nothing to do with Jaws, in title only. Last Action Hero, because they threw every other damn thing in there. I mean, why not? Why not have a dragon? You could do it during the whole, that's what Benedict comes out. He gets a dragon from whatever dragon movie. I don't know. And then I figured, why not Backdraft? So Kurt Russell's little brother is not, who was it? Stephen Baldwin or whatever. It's a dragon who wants to make amends for all the William Baldwin. I'm sorry. Who wants to make amends for all the fires that he started. So now he's actually working with the fire department. And How to Train Your Dragon kind of thing, cartoon type dragon, whatever. But either way, the dragon talks. In Backdraft, the dragon talks. And that's 5. That's what I got.
I thought for sure, and I was thinking about this today at work. I was like, I bet that Herschel says Firestorm with Howie Long. I was like, there's no way he lets this one go. Like, I didn't put it because of that reason.
He wanted you to have it. That's cute.
You know what? I was gonna do Nick Cage Firebirds, but I said nah. I'm gonna stick with Under Siege.
Chris.
I'm sticking with the racism. I was thinking Train to Busan. Have us a Korean zombie barbecue. And I did go with a firefighter movie, Only the Brave. Same guy who did Top Gun Maverick. Instead of every firehouse having a stupid Dalmatian, they should have a little dragon that helps them with controlled burns and all of that. Fight fire with fire. No more wildfires in California. And I picked Top Gun Maverick because they start discussing like, oh, they have a dragon in that country, and then they'll all discuss like, well, who's seen one? And they all look at Tom Cruise. He's flown one before. He's flown a dragon.
He's flown one before.
And according to Joe, I guess Rooster is old enough to have flown a dragon as well.
67 years old. He collects.
Number 2, I put.
This was worth starting late.
Number 2, this was a hard one. I was going to put Monster Squad, but I picked Goonies. Instead of there being a sloth, there was a dragon in that ice cream cooler, and he was a little tiny dragon that talked and helped Chunk out and helped them save the kids. And when they got down there with the big pirate ship, that's where the dragon's parents were, and they came busting out of the rocks and took on the Fratellis. So I thought you had to have like a comedy.
Like Mushu from Mulan.
Yeah. That's what my daughter said. So like Mushu from Mulan. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Then I grounded her for a week.
Yeah. And number one for obvious reasons, Heat. I don't know if you guys know this, but the bank robbing scene, the big gunfight, and how they retreated is actually shown in Marine classes on the proper way to retreat, and they wouldn't have to do that if they just had a dragon with them that put up walls of flame to keep Al Pacino and the other cops from getting them. Just think you're bank robbers and you got a dragon protecting the getaway car, just flies above it as you're driving away.
Thank you for entertaining that. That came out better than I thought it would. Let's move on to recast, and I'll start again. I think this movie was built pretty well for recast. And I'm going to start with recasting Quinn with Tom Hiddleston.
Why'd you look at me?
Because I know you're a big fan of him.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna ask her.
He's like, he's the one you
Hiddleton
picture
or
when we're in bed
Hiddleston?
together. Well,
I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
What's that?
I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Hiddleton or Hiddleston?
Hiddleston.
Okay.
Hiddleston. Okay.
yeah, I think so.
For helicopter pilot
I thought of
Jensen,
him too.
I picked Florence Pugh.
Pew.
For Denton Van Zandt, I went with Channing Tatum.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then for Creedy, I went with a doppelganger, Butler doppelganger, Carl Urban. I feel like they're interchangeable with many roles.
Yeah.
But those are my picks. Joe, you're up.
Right. I chose Emily Blunt for my helicopter pilot gal.
Okay.
And then I chose Jeffrey Dean Morgan as my Van Zandt.
Okay. Yeah.
And then for Quinn's adopted mutt kid, he said he got him from the pound. I didn't mean that because he's not like, no, I don't mean that like any other way other than that one joke
You
he
did
made
say you
one
got
time.
him from the pound. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taron Egerton, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kid from
Kingsman.
Kingsman.
Yep.
Oh.
And I don't know, he could be fucking 40 by now. I don't know these kids, man. Like this
still looks
I'll
young
tell you what,
enough,
this is
yeah.
the hardest shit. Recasting's tough to me.
There were other characters
There
you
are
could
like
have
40
casted.
adults in this movie.
Yeah.
But dude, there was such a good already cast that was created. Like I didn't want to mess with it too much. And then are you kidding me? Did you not see McConaughey have bald head? And then I chose Creedy as Irvin because I also feel that they are like brothers across the pond or something. Like they can do, they switch them out.
Sabrina.
Okay. So I recast Alex as Kiki Lane, who is from the old guard. She took over Charlize Theron's spot when she died. I recast sorry, I can't read my own hand. Creedy as Rupert Grint, who you know as Ron Weasley from the Harry Potter series.
I don't.
No.
I do.
I'm an adult.
And I recast Quinn as Garrett Hedlund, which is the kid who played Tron in Tron.
We know who Garrett Hedlund is.
He's played in some stuff. And then I made Carl Urban our Watchtower bird guy. I just love giving him those weird side roles.
I'm a fan of that. Andy,
Yeah.
go for it.
Well, I went for like a theme here because again, I wasn't sure which way they were going to go with McConaughey initially on this movie before I watched it. So I was like, if they were going to give him like a British accent, would have been interesting. So I cast all the Londoners and stuff, the English as American actors and the American as a British. So I have Denton was played by Charlie Hunnam. Then again, the common pick is Creedy as Carl Urban.
Mm-hmm.
For Quinn, I threw William Zabka in there because it doesn't really matter, like age-wise. Kind of throw people in there like they're all older and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then for Alex, I went with Anna Gunn from Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Nice.
Anna Gunn Skywalker.
Herschel, go for it.
Yep. So for Quinn, I have Benedict Cumberbatch. For my Van Zant, I figured why not? He's in everything else. We'll make it The Rock.
I hate you son of a bitch.
Man, just picturing those
I mean,
two next to each
not
other is
only
kind of weird though.
he's not in commercials and fucking movies, he's also introducing the LA Rams all the fucking time. I don't understand.
I'm just saying he's I think the word is prolific. For obvious reasons, for my helicopter pilot, I picked Christina Hendricks, and then
what are those reasons? Just kidding.
They're two very large reasons.
Yeah.
She's a great actress, and she's got a really good personality.
Yeah.
Then I interchanged. I'm sorry, Carl Urban with Gerard Butler, just like everybody else, almost everybody else.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
So yeah, there you go.
He's perfect. Chris.
He's perfect.
All right.
He's no Dwayne the Rock Johnson, I guess. But
So Gerard Butler's character, I made Reese Ifans. Right? Is that how you say his last name?
I don't know who that is.
Who is that?
He's the blonde guy that's always like the crazy Celtic character in every movie. He was the kicker in The Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that dude.
Okay.
The leg. I'm wiry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kid from Sons of Anarchy.
No.
Oh.
Is it Christian Bale? This is going to be kind of a change out here. Be Colin Farrell. Matthew McConaughey, I changed to Samuel L. Jackson because of the jump that he did in The Other Guys. I was like, Samuel L. Jackson can pull off that jump. And if he can take down snakes on a plane, I'm pretty sure a dragon wouldn't be a fucking challenge to him. So
I'm pretty sure that's the other American personality type we have here.
He also
I'm tired of these
a whacked out military dude in Kong.
He did do
Yeah,
it
like,
dude.
tired of
Do you
these
remember when he
motherfucking
was
dragons.
in, what was that movie where he was on trial? And I hope they burn in hell or something. Or
Rules of
Time to
engage-
Kill.
Rules of
Time to Kill.
engagement.
Rules of
and
Engagement.
A Time to Kill.
Oh, that Time to Kill. Yeah.
And Carl Urban, I recast it as the male dragon.
Yeah.
That wins.
green screen.
Go the
suit.
Sean Connery Dragonheart route.
Yeah, like Sean Connery could be a goddamn dragon. I'm pretty sure Carl Urban could be.
A little
When I
mischief.
breathe some fire.
I remember you when you were a child, and I let you live.
Let's move on to our official movie ratings. And after you give your rating, I would like you to answer the question, is this a good deployment movie? And we'll do this in reverse order, starting with Chris.
I'm giving it 5 Dixie cups, and no, it would not be a good deployment movie. I'm already depressed on deployment. I don't need to be depressed anymore with the gray imagery and pretend I'm back in Norfolk, you know.
Herschel.
Yeah, I want to go with 6. It's entertaining. It's entertaining, and I think it is definitely deploymentable. Deploymentable. It's entertaining and it's riffable. I mean, come on, man. What more could you ask for? You can laugh at it. We've been doing it for an hour and a half. Come on.
Yeah.
So 6 and yes.
Andy.
Yeah, I'm going 6.5. It's just good enough on deployment. Like, it's one of those movies that, like, it's a movie that you're probably only going to watch on deployment because, like, you have limited options. Like, it's not horrible, but it's not like I'm gonna like do whatever I can to work out my watch schedule so I can sit and watch this whole movie in birthing or something. Like, you know, it's just good enough to enjoy, and that you'll watch it 3 or 4 times throughout the cruise and not care.
Sabrina.
I'm gonna give it 5.5 Dixie cups because I almost like it. I do think it is a fantastic deployment movie though, because I had never seen it. I'd only seen it in parts and bits and pieces, so I thought I could like this movie. And oftentimes I was only seeing movies in parts and bits and pieces while I was on deployment, so this would have been entertaining for those 10 minutes that I had to sit around and do nothing. But watching it as a whole was not enjoyable. And it gives you a lot of good talking points. So you can just bullshit about this with your shipmates if you do happen to watch the whole thing by accident.
Joe. Say again?
6.5. 6.5. What, do you think it was gonna be higher than that?
Yes, you were very excited the entire time.
I geeked out on this movie harder than I thought I was going to. Ultimately, I know that it is a subpar movie, but
So hard to say.
I had a lot of fun like watching it. I had a lot of fun talking about it, and I know that if it pops up on TV again, I'm going to be like, yeah, of course I'm going to watch McConaughey go crazy.
Coffee Kansas.
You know, I'll definitely watch Skin. I'm not gonna go, you know, shout it from the rooftops how good this movie is or anything, but it was fun, and yeah, people can definitely joke around about how corny it is. But yeah, 6.5. I liked it. I thought it was fun. They're not gonna make a sequel. I know that. I mean, they would have by now, right?
You would think, but you never know.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
With the next generation of how the humanity's been rebuilding.
Well, they got to wipe out the rest of the dragons.
Yeah.
And I will give this movie a solid 6. And I think this is absolutely a deployment movie.
Oh,
and because of Matthew McConaughey and all those weapons and VBS dorks would fucking be creaming all over just for that reason. And that reason alone makes this movie a deployment movie.
Very deployable.
You see his tats, bro?
I'm getting McConaughey's.
Next fucking port. Next fucking port, bro.
How you take down a dragon if you were in that, situation.
With that being said, we gave this an average of 5.9. And if you
fair.
If you bear with me for a quick second, I could give you a little bit of stats. 5.9 puts us at
third from the bottom.
Third from last overall.
What is it? Action?
Yeah, that's good enough. It's our third worst rated movie that we've watched so far. I guess we'll move on to the next movie. Who had the next pick?
I did.
Give us your
He's
category
excited.
and your final pick.
Yeah, I had the free for all
Yeah.
of the 2000 to 09 range, and I was looking at what movies came out in that decade, and it's, there's a lot of good ones. As we saw, we had anything from this movie to countless others. And when I was looking through the scope of things, and I was like, I wanted to get something a little off the path, if you will. And I went with the Wes Anderson classic, Life Aquatic, with Steve Zissou.
That's a great one. Which
is unfortunately you have to rent it on Amazon for a couple bucks, but maybe you own it like I do, and it doesn't cost you anything. So
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I've never seen this one either.
I've never
Life-
seen it.
Good.
so-
Yeah. And then the
Good choice. Good choice, my friend.
Have I seen
Wait.
any of these movies before we watch them?
No, that's
What year-
why I invited you into the movie.
Yeah.
What year is this, Sandy?
this came out in 2004.
Besides the one I picked.
Do you got your EMI ready, or do you want to wait?
Yeah. So I was thinking for EMI, top 5 creatures of the sea, but like your favorite, like but I don't want like you to give me 5 sharks or something stupid, like 5
5 different
I like
sharks.
goldfish, salmon, just mix it up here. Have some
Question?
thought there. Yes.
Do they have to be real creatures, or can they be like mythical creatures?
They're in a movie.
Yeah, it's just,
Oh, he wanted real stuff though.
it doesn't have to be real, but like I don't, like I would say
FC2,
if you're gonna
FC2 the Cable, could that be one of my choices?
Yeah. Was he a creature of the sea?
Be dangerous.
get a,
SK2
at least
the
have
Cable
at
with
least
crabs?
one real creature if you have a largely mythical list.
I
Since-
knew it. I used to go scuba diving. I can think of some things.
Yeah, Ariel cannot be a choice.
So mermaids are
man.
out.
Oh, I got a good
Jason
joke. I can't say
Momoa?
it. What?
I can't say it. So we get rid of free for all. We've got his 2 comedies.
Who's
and,
after Andy?
Sabrina.
I think it's me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
2 comedies and Carl Urban.
Yeah.
This is gonna suck for you guys. I don't want comedy again because I just did comedy.
So we just a free for all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Dang it.
Carl Urban, guys. Cross your fingers. I'll do the right thing.
Right.
I'll do the right thing, I promise.
You don't have to necessarily.
Damn it, I hate this movie so much. Oh my god.
From 2010 to 1019.
This
That's a
decade.
good. That's a good
good range.
decade. That's
Yeah.
a very good decade. That's
All the
some
way
of
back to 1019. All
We
comedy
can-
movies.
We can all geek out to Don Quixote and shit. Oh, good lord.
Just under an hour or just about an hour and a half. Thank you for joining me on this session of Seamen on Film. Stay tuned for next month when we're doing Life Aquatic, hosted by Andy. Say bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.